Hey guys, welcome to your channel, The Nurse Star. Today we are going to speak about general orientation of anatomy and physiology. We all know that we do have a level of organization. Our body is made of them atoms, okay? And this atom combine together and make the molecules. We do have different type of molecules. We call them macromolecule. For example, the protein, carbohydrates, the genetic materials, and lipids. They all are macromolecule. This macromolecules make our organelles. We do have different type of organelles. Mitochondria, rough endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, ribosome, nucleus, they all are our organelles. And these all organelles can create our cells. And the cells combine to each other or pack to each other, make the tissue. And we do have different tissue, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, nervous tissue, and muscular tissue. And this tissue come to each other and make our organ. For example, the stomach or small intestine, large intestine. Small intestine are made by epithelial tissue, connective tissue, and muscles, and it innervated by the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous tissue. And these organs, meaning that a stomach, a small intestine, and large intestine, make our digestive system. So the organs come to each other and make the organ system. And we do have different type of system, cardiovascular system, or digestive system, nervous system, lymphatic system, integumentary system. This type of system come to each other and make our organ or organism. The first terminology we should know in the anatomy is anatomical position. What is anatomical position? Anatomical position is when someone is standing upright and facing forward, and the feet is facing forward and is widened as the shoulder, and the palm or the hand is facing forward also. It is called anatomical position. Second terminology is regarding the plane. When someone is standing at the anatomical position and we try to divide the, the body into two equal parts, okay? We can divide the body into right and left by the sagittal plane. We can divide the body into two equal parts, anterior and posterior, by the frontal or coronal plane. And we can divide the body into superior or upper and lower parts by the transverse plane. So we do have three planes: sagittal plane, coronal plane, and transverse plane. So what kind of plane is this one, this picture? It is a coronal plane, okay? And what kind of plane is this one, the left one? It is a sagittal plane. It's a sagittal plane. And this picture, this MRI, okay, is the transverse section. We can see, for example, the lung and heart here. This picture shows the sagittal plane. If our plane be exactly at the middle of our body, it is called mid-sagittal plane. But if we do have uh, another or other type of sagittal that parallel to the mid-sagittal, they call parasagittal plane. You can see here that one, parasagittal plane. And this is the coronal section or coronal plane. At the coronal plane, okay, some part of our body is at the posterior and some other are at the interior if we compare related to each other. For example, here the skin or back is at the posterior of this dentist stomach or liver. And here's the transverse section. Okay, the transverse section, some organ are superior or inferior to each other. We do have some regional terms. At the head or cephalic, we do have frontal, the forehead, orbital, our eye or eye cavity, eyeball cavity, nasal, oral, and mental. Cervical is called, the neck is called cervical, our chest is called thoracic, and our abdomen, we do have abdomen and pelvic. The upper limb, we do have acromion, we have a brachial or arm region, we have an antebrachial, we have a forearm, we have a, the wrist is called carpal, we have a metacarpal and phalangeus. The lower limb, we do have a femoral region, we have our knee, this is called patellar region or because of the patellar bone here, and the leg, it is called crural, and we do have another part, it is called tarsal, the ankle is called tarsal, and metatarsal and phalangeus. And the back or dorsal, we do have a scapular region, we have a vertebral region, lumbar region, and sacral region. And the buttocks is called gluteal. So we do have some terminology: superior meaning upper, inferior meaning lower, anterior meaning forward, or posterior meaning at the back of something, medial and lateral. For example, here this bone is called clavicular. This part of bone is more closer to the sagittal plane, so because of that it is called medial, and this part of bone is lateral because it's more away from our sagittal plane. proximal and distal. We, for example, our hand is made by phalanges. One of the phalanges are more close to the origin, to the root. Okay, this is called proximal phalanges. But one of them phalanges are more away than than proximal. It is called distal phalanges, and between them it is called medial or intermediate phalanges. So we understood what is the proximal, what is distal, what is lateral, what is medial, what is intermediate, interior, posterior, superior, inferior, and superficial. What is the superficial and deep? Some organs are superficial or external. For example, our eyes and ears are superficial than the heart and lungs or internal organ. The internal is meaning deep and external meaning superficial. Another terminology is related to the abdomen. We are going to divide abdomen into four main regions. One of my sections should be at the mid-sagittal and another section should be exactly at the umbilical region. So these two cuts can divide our abdomen into four main groups, into four main regions: right upper quadrant, left upper quadrant, right lower quadrant, and left lower quadrant. These regions and these quadrants are so important later at the anatomy. Another system that can divide our abdominal region into 9 regions. Two sections it comes from mid clavicle region. Is our clavicle. At the middle of clavicle we have a section. It is called mid clavicular line at the both side, and one cut or one section is between two iliac crests or tubercle, intertubercular cut, and the another cut is between the costal margin. So we do have 9 region: right hypochondriac, left hypochondriac, right lumbar region or flank, left lumbar region or flank region, right inguinal region, left inguinal region, epigastric, umbilical, and hypogastric. At the clinic, we use these um, lines and region so many times because they are so important to localize, for example, the pain. Where is the pain? The pain is located at the right hypochondrium. It could be related to the liver or gallbladder. If it's been at the epigastric region, it could be because of the stomach. So it's so important for us to memorize this region. We do have two main cavity in our body: dorsal cavity and ventral body cavity. The ventral body cavity contains thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity, and pelvic cavity. But the dorsal cavity contains vertebral cavity and cranial cavity. They are site for brain and spinal cord. Another term we should know is serous membrane. What is serous membrane? Our organs, for example, the heart, is covered by epithelial tissue. What is epithelial tissue? We will find it out just in some later in the video, some other video. Our heart, so our organs, for example, heart, lungs, or intestine, are covered by epithelial tissue or uh, in epithelium. So it's exactly look like that. Your fist is covered by if you push your fist into the plastic, and this plastic or balloon, one layer of that cover your fist and your hand, and another one is attached to some other part in our body, and between them there is a space. So the heart is covered by a layer, it is called visceral layer, and another layer of serous membrane attached to the body wall to chest cavity. Okay, and between them there is a cavity, it is called pericardial cavity. So the pericardium is a serous membrane that cover our heart. One layer is attached to the heart, and another layer, it is called parietal pericardium, is attached to the uh, chest wall cavity. Okay, to the chest wall, and between them there is a cavity, it is called pericardial cavity. And our lung also is covered by a serous membrane, it is called pleura, visceral pleura, and another layer that attached to the chest wall is called parietal pleura, and between them there is a cavity, it is called pleural cavity, this white thing here.